Now, second period, there was a lot of students who were unable to get onto the computer yet, because they changed everything. So what you're going to have to do, if you still can't get onto Wi-Fi, here's a notebook, tear out a blank sheet of paper unless you got one of your own, and you're going to have to write this all down instead of typing it all in. The nice part for me is that when you finish this, when you open this document, for you guys, right up here is a button that says Turn In. That's all you got to do. When you open this, you're going to answer these questions, just like it says. We'll talk about it before you do this. But there is no reason, there's nothing you have to share with me anymore. There's no reason to share. When you do an assignment on Google Classroom, all you got to do is hit this little Turn In button that's at the top. I don't have it on mine, but you do it on yours. There's no reason for you to have to share anymore. Did everybody locate that Turn In button way at the top left there? Know where it's at. But don't turn. And the other part is this is nice. If you don't finish an assignment, just close it up. Everything that you did will save, and then you can go back in later and then turn it in later when you do finish it. In Edmodo, you can't do that. You got to finish it while it's open. Otherwise, you lose everything. So that's why we're getting rid of Edmodo. So here's what you're going to do. It says, try to figure out which parts of the cell are like which parts of the city, just like we did with the classroom. First, use your cell booklet to identify the functions of the cell parts listed below. Then look at the list of parts of a city. Think about how each part of the city works. Finally, list which part of the city has the most similar function as the cell, and write why you chose that part of the city as a map. So look at these. You have a power plant. Anybody not know what a power plant does for a city?
Energy.
It supplies energy to the city. The fence around the city with gates. A food processing plant. That means it's only going to be found in a plant because why? This is where food is made. Our cells don't make food, but in a plant cell it does. Streets. City Hall. Anybody not know what City Hall is?
Where is it?
Where is City Hall in Sioux Falls? It's right by the city courthouse and by the police department and by Minnehaha County Treasury Department. Like if you ever have to go get licenses for your car, if you ever went there with your parents, you may go there to vote absentee if you ever have to vote absentee when your parents are old, when you're old 18. It's basically where everything is planned and run. All the people who run the city streets and the water and if you want to build in the city of Sioux Falls a home, you have to go get a building permit from City Hall. You can't just start building. You got to get permits to do all this stuff. That's City Hall. Waste disposal plant, that's of course self-explanatory. The parks and the lawns around town. Post office, anybody not know what a post office does? Storage company would be a company that stores stuff in the city. Transportation company, construction site, and then city records office. This is where city records office would probably be in City Hall, where they keep record of everything that's happened in the city, like laws that they've made, what year was the mall built, what year were the certain streets made, and all the records of the city. So here's what you're going to do. Watch carefully. Let's do one together. Those of you that have this document open, all you got to do is let's start with nucleus. Go behind the word nucleus, and I'll type mine in red. That way you guys can kind of see what I'm doing here.
Do you have to change the color?
No, you don't have to, unless you want to.
Okay.
So which one of these 1 through 12 there on the screen, which one is like the nucleus?
No.
Well, the nucleus runs the cell. Which one of those city parts runs the city?
City Hall.
So you'd write down City Hall, and I'm highlighting on purpose here. So see what I'm doing? So I'm going to write City Hall and Planning Department. And Planning Department. I'm going to shorten up department. Why though? That's not just my own response. My own response is why did you choose City Hall? Anybody have a reason why we're choosing City Hall?
Because they plan all that stuff.
Because it plans and controls everything that happens in the city. I want to change that. That's right. Like this. And let's go like this. There. Whoops. There. City Hall and Planning Department because it plans and controls what happens in the city. Just like the nucleus plans and controls what happens in the cell. Okay? You're going to do the rest of these. I'll give you a clue right now. You probably could do, and then I would do this. I'd probably just go up here and I'd either bold it, or I'd do something just so that I know, okay, I've used that one. Or even if you want to change the font color, or highlight it, I'm going to say, okay, I've used that one, no, that one's done. I don't have to worry about that one anymore. So that way you kind of keep track of which ones you used and which ones you didn't use. That's what I would do, but you don't have to. However, you're going to keep track of which ones you used and which ones you didn't. I'll be honest. There's a couple of these that could possibly go into one place or the other. I'll give you a hint. Transportation company could come under any one of these, but one of them is a little bit better than the other. Okay? So your job is to finish this, turn it in when you're done, and if you have to do it on a hard copy, just do it on a piece of paper and turn it in to me. And when you're done with this, I want you to work and go into your Google, or go into your Infinite Camps and finish anything that needs to be finished. Now, Michael, Elijah, Nick, Diamond, Margaret, and Mel, you guys have stuff to finish. I want you to finish that. If you're done with everything, okay, then you need to return your book, and I've got some games I'm going to have you play. Okay? So, go ahead and begin to work on this. If you have questions, I'll come around. Now, you're going to need to open up your... Here, I'll tell you what the code is. What was your question, Sir Apple? Don't tell. Just you got to look at your book. This is high-level thinking. Critical thinking skills are skills that you need to learn in order to make it through the world someday. Okay? If you're going to rely on people telling you what the answers are, and you're relying on people telling you what to do your whole life, you're really going to struggle when you get older.
What's the book below from London?
That's about it. The last one. Oh, here. I just changed it. I forgot to read it there. MRY 8EC. Hi, I'll be right over and tell you what we're doing. find out as you go, like, you have to change them around, but there's a couple of these that could fit. But try not to look just at the words to the word. You gotta look at the whole thing, you gotta figure out what you gotta do. Can I just write the answers in?
So I'm going right to order.
And you gotta tell me why. You have to, each one of these has to say, why did you choose that? For all of you, don't just behind, like I did in red, don't just write down City Hall behind your place. You also have to tell me why you think it was City Hall. I need to know what that connection was that you made with it.
When does this due?
Well, in the other period, most of them got it done before the end of the period. 20 something, yeah. 21. 19. And 8 minutes.
This is the wrong time.
Well, just go back an hour. Yeah, they didn't change the clock yet. The minutes are right, but the hour is wrong.
Wow.
And of course, you only use each one of these once. There's none of these that are stuff that you can use twice. Everything is only used once. There's 12 city parts and 12 organelles. You just type it all in, you guys. I'm not going to go through each one and tell you what you want to do. You have to figure it out. That's critical thinking. You got to learn to do that. Yeah, because if something sorts in packages and you say it stores, that's not the same thing at all.
Wrong substitute.
I think the only one on here that could be used with one and two of these is transportation company. That's the only one that could be used, but you'll be able to figure it out as you go along that one of them is transportation company is really good and in the other one it's not. It works, but it's not as good. And that's like Dakota step tests, you guys, and semester tests. Some of those semester tests, there's 2 or 3 good answers. You got to tell me which is the best of the 2 or the 3. That's high level thinking. Here, I'll put this up on the board for you as well here. Maybe this will help too. Where you see a picture of where you might be able to see the pictures of. Like City Hall is kind of an important building. It's usually one of those nice looking buildings you see up.
So it could be, for 1 through 12, it could be the same thing for.
No, there's 1 through 12 and A through L, that's 12 and 12. So each one of them can only use one. But like if you put transportation company down for A, and it also could fit for B, well then the other one, then there's got to be another one that you use up from on top. 1 through 12, that doesn't fit for A or B.
Question. I know, but I didn't really know. Now you got to tell me why.
Bill like does a lot of sorting and and packaging. What I understand, you really should know that.
I didn't know.
I know, but you of all, anybody in here should probably know that more than anybody. I don't know what I'm talking about. Talk about you.
Oh, I get it.
Mr. Warner. I'm signing in another Google account, but every time I click sign in, it comes up to the other Google account I'm signed in as. And every time I go to switch it.
Well then, yeah, go down to the down arrow.
Yeah, but I do that, but then it just brings me to.
No, it's a down arrow. Add an account.
Well, here's my school one.
You're there.
Yeah, but then I have to. This is what's so weird about it. Now open it. Oh, let me see this.
You turn it in.
Now I am. Just with the turned on at first.
Like I said before, you're going to the element show.
Oh, come on.
Step it up.
It's not fair. My assignment was not turned in. There we go.
Can't look at time. You get time here. You look at the clock.
We've been here for like, how many weeks? And you don't even know what time to get out.
All right, I don't think you know. Just keep moving on here. Now, come here. How's that? You got about 5 minutes left. We're here till 11:19. I know the class says 12:19, but they just 19 after.
Do they have to go all around Springfield?
I think they have a master switch, and I don't know why they haven't done that yet. Remember, outside of this Cell City assignment, nothing else except if your name's on the board and you're missing work. Okay? By this stage of the game, you're going to have to learn to do work outside of school or outside of class. You're just going to have to. That is something that is part of your livelihood as a high school student. You have to learn to do work outside of school. For me, it's never that much. It's just a matter of sitting down, taking 20 minutes of your time, and actually doing it.